So what is it really? What is going on in the brain? Well, as near as we can figure, there's an imbalance of the neurotransmitters, the dopamine, the adrenaline, and other neurotransmitters, especially in the frontal lobe and the frontal cortex. That's the part of the brain that does decision making. That's the part of the brain that says planning, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do this, that enables one to take a second before doing something impulsively. And that's where it looks like the problem is. Here's a little picture of something you can see in some kids with ADHD. Now, does that mean that this is a chemical imbalance and it can only be treated by chemicals? Not at all. This is just a tendency that occurs in kids with ADHD as opposed to non-ADHD. One really interesting study followed these kids for 3 years with MRIs and looking at the size of their cortex, of the active part of the brain in kids with ADHD. And as you can see, they had a delay, 3 years, in attaining the thickness of that cortex, which means thickness of cortex equilibrates to the amount of neurons, to the amount of connections that are going on there. And it was most prominent, again, in the frontal, where control of cognitive process, including attention, resides. But the great part is this study showed it was a delay, not a deviance. In other words, these kids actually did develop normal-looking cortex. It was just delayed. And actually, the motor cortex matured early. So now you have a little child whose cognitive processes are maybe a little underdeveloped, and yet the motor stuff is working great. So that's, there's our little ADHD kid running around like crazy, perfectly happy in his motor body, or her motor body. A pearl I like to talk about is the emotional age of a child with ADHD is 2/3 to 3/4 their chronological age. So they'll get there. Some parents say to me, why does he act like this? Not just the hyperactivity. Why is he so immature? Well, he's just not there yet. But it comes. It does come.